this is MJ and today I'm going to be showing you how to make this rustic knit look pumpkin. So to make our pumpkin I'm going to be using 1 ball of Sugarbush Yarns Chill, and I'll be using some jute twine in this tan color as well as some in green for our leaf. You'll need a cinnamon stick for your stem and some polyester fibrefill. I'll be using a 10mm crochet hook to make our pumpkin, and I'll also be using a smaller 4mm hook to make our leaf. So to begin, let's make a magic circle. We're going to wrap the yarn around our index finger 3 times. Take your hook, slide it through all 3 loops, grab your first loop and pull it through. Chain 1. Work 10 single crochet in the ring and just keep those stitches nice and loose. Pull that loop tight. And slip stitch to join. Now we'll chain 1, work 2 center single crochet in every stitch around. So you want to go down and find this V, push through it, working 2 center single crochet. You're going to find that V between your 2 stitches. Here's 1 stitch, here's 2, and if you pull them apart, you're going to see the V here. Work down into that V. Again, if you're having trouble finding it, just pull those stitches apart. You're going to find that V right there. It's always a little difficult at the start until we get going. Okay, so I've worked all the way around. We'll just slip stitch to join. Make sure you have 20 stitches. Chain 1. And now we're going to work 1 in the first for that next stitch right here, and we'll do 2 in the next. Pull it apart. Here's the stitch. 1 in the next. And 2 in the next. And like I say, it's kind of tight as we get going, but try and keep your stitches loose and that will help. Okay, so at this point you should have 30 stitches, and it should be looking kind of weird right now, but that's okay. It's gonna smooth out as we keep working because we're not doing any more increases. So chain 1. And now we're just working 1 in every stitch around. So again, find that V. And always you can just pull your stitches apart to find where it is. So you're just working around now 30 stitches. Now when you get around, you just want to slip stitch into the top of your first single crochet to join, chain 1, and we're just going to keep repeating now for a total of 10 rounds. So that's from the beginning, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're working on to our 5th round. And you want a total of 10. And that should use most of your ball of yarn. If you're looking at substitutes, I would try maybe Bernat blanket yarn or Lion brand Woolies Thick and Quick. They'll also have a similar thickness. This is a very thick, heavy, super bulky weight number 6 yarn. You want something similar, but I'll also have kits available in my shop if you're interested in purchasing one of these pumpkin kits. So I'm going to keep working around and I'll meet you back up when I have my 10 rounds complete. Okay, so I've worked up 10 and I still have some yarn left, so I'm maybe just working this one up a little bit tighter. So I'm going to go ahead and do another round because I want to use up most of my yarn. My stitches may look a little bit bigger on this one. So I'm just going to go and keep working around to use up this ball of yarn. Okay, so I've ended up working 12 rounds and I'm just going to go through my last stitch. I've already cut my yarn and we're going to bring in the twine. And depending on how your thickness that you have, you may need to double it up. This one's a little bit thicker than the first stuff I used, so I doubled up when I was working with these ones, but this one I'm going to try just working with the one strand because it's a bit thicker. So slip stitch to join, chain 1, and then we're just working in every stitch around. Just basically what we were doing with our yarn. We're just now working the stitches with the twine. Okay, and once you get around, you just want to slip stitch to join, chain 1, and we're just continuing to work around. Now we're just going down through the twine stitch. And these would also make cute little baskets. If you don't want to finish off making it a pumpkin, it would totally look cute as little baskets as well. Okay, so I've worked around 4 rounds with our twine, and now we need to do a decrease round. So I'm going to work 1 single crochet in the first. I'm going to skip the next and work 1 single crochet in the next. So I'm going to do this all the way around. Skip every other stitch, putting a single crochet. So we should end up with 15 stitches. So I've worked 15. I'm going to fasten off with a long tail. We skip the last stitch, slip stitch into the first to join, and then just pull through. Now I have some stuffing here and I've already put some cinnamon on it so that we have a cinnamon scented pumpkin. could also use pumpkin pie spice. Take my needle, and we're going to weave through the front loops only of every stitch around. That's going to pull our pumpkin in. We just want to make sure we leave the hole big enough to fit in our cinnamon stick. So what you can do is just weave now back in the opposite direction. And just weaving through also helps just to thicken that up if you can see the stuffing popping out. Now I just want to weave back that I'm at my join. And I'll move that for now. Now we're going to start forming the pumpkin. So what I like to do is just slide my needle down through the join, just like this. And we're going to go all the way we're going to end up going through the center. Now you can pull that, and that's going to pull your pumpkin in, and then just go through your hole, and we're going to pop back up through the top. Now for this pumpkin, I went every 5 stitches, so I have 6 bumped sections. This time I'm going to go every 6 stitches, and I will only have 5 bump sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I skip over that far, and then we're just weaving just going through here to hide between the stitches. So as long as you're going even around, you can choose to have 5 or 6. I'm just thinking an odd number might be better than the even, like the one I already did, but it still looks nice, even if it has 6 sections rather than 5. I maybe didn't leave a long enough tail, but we can always just grab another piece. So again, we're just pushing it all the way up through the center. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here's where we want to come through. And we're just repeating this all the way around. And I'm just running out of my twine. So what I'm going to do is weave this one. And then I'm just going to join in another piece to finish. And I'm just going to take another long strand. So the longer you cut your strand, the better, so that you won't run short. What I'm going to do is just knot it on here. Okay, so when you're finished, you can just add your cinnamon stick. Tie another piece of twine. And then if you want to add a leaf to your pumpkin, I'm going to show you how to make that quickly. Okay, so I'm using some of my green twine. You can leave your tail here for your vine. You pull from the center, it just comes out a little bit curly. Chain 7. I'm just using a small 4mm hook here. We'll work 1 single crochet in the second chain from the hook, a single crochet in the next chain, a half double crochet in the next, half double crochet in the next, and then a double crochet in the last 2. And then we'll chain 3, slip stitch down into that starting chain, and after we've slip stitched, then we'll chain 3 and work on the opposite side of the chain now, going up. So a double crochet in the first 2, and then half double crochet in the next 2. Whoops. And then single crochet in our final 2. Then we can just slip stitch in that first single crochet to join. Fasten off with a long tail. This stuff gets messy. Now you just want to weave this end down. Just through the center. I think I crocheted partially over that end as a mistake. You just want that end to come to the bottom because we'll use that to tie. You can just knot the leaf around. Tie it in a bow if you want, or knot it. And then just let your ends. You can leave them long or trim them up a bit. It's up to you. That's how you can make a really nice rustic pumpkin.